All right, everyone. I think that the test building time has elapsed. Wait a second. So yeah, everyone, welcome to the final round of the Sports Rinas Universitas Terbuka 2025 Varsity Debating Competition for English debate. So yeah, we have the motion today for the final round. This house believes that social media does more harm than good to users' mental health. Debating on the OG, we have Ute Purwokerto with the first speaker Ade Nur Arifah and second speaker Satria Adi Pamungkas. And then coming from OO, we have Ute Jakarta. First speaker will be Matilda Faizah Tobing and second speaker will be Tiara Azahra. Coming into the closing bench, closing government coming from Surabaya, UT Surabaya. First speaker will be Salshabila Febrian and the second speaker will be Melinda Ruby Rusmadini, and then in the closing opposition, we have UT Banjarmasin with the first speaker Nuriani Agustina and second speaker Rizky Amalia Maulija. Judging for this round, we have Ka Arif Darmawan Suwardi as the chair, and then we have Ka Ade Yunus, Ka Nur Aizizah Isnaini, Ka Zahra Zakia Haryono, and me as Nadia as the panels. Now, moving into the first speaker of our debate, Prime Minister Ade Nur Arifah.
Okay. My explanations will start from 3, 2, 1. Good morning, the educators. I would like to introduce myself. My full name is Ade Nur Arifah. You can call me Ade. I'm the first speaker from the government side. I completely agree with the motion that Tit House believes that social media does more harm than good to users' mental health. Before I explain further about my stance, I want to give some definition of our motion. Social media refers to platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and similar apps that facilitate online social interactions. And then about users' mental health refers to emotional, psychological, and social well-being, particularly issues like anxiety, depression, loneliness, body image concern, and attention disorder. More harm than goods mean that the overall negative impact outweigh the positive contribution to users' mental health. So, the conclusion from the definition is platforms that give more negative than positive contribution to users' emotional psychological. I have at least 3 arguments to support my stance. First, social comparison and declining self-esteem. Social media promote a culture of curated perfection. Users constantly compare their lives to other highlight reels, leading to feeling inadequacy, low self-worth, and even depression. Secondly, addiction and dopamine dependency. Social media platforms are intentionally designed to be addictive, which endless scrolling notification and validation mechanism, likes, share, comment. This is create dopamine loops, hook users and high mental balance. And then third, cyberbullying and online harassment. Social media provide a platforms for bullying, hate speech, body shaming, and targeted abuse, especially groups like teenagers or minorities. And then number 4, information overload and attention fatigue. Constant exposure to viral content, negative news, and trends overwhelm users. It fuels FOMO, fear of missing out, shortened attention span, and increases anxiety over things outside their control. While social media offers some benefits like connectivity or self-oppressions, its widespread systemic harms to user mental health is far greater and more pervasive. It degrades emotional well-being, fosters addiction, and exposes users to constant psychological stress. Therefore, this house firmly believes that social media does more harm than good to users' mental health. With all of the strong arguments, I confidently say that our side has given the best answer for the motions. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the Prime Minister. Moving into the opposition bench, we have Matilda Faizah Tobing. Here.
If there's like a sound, I'm currently outside there, so I'm sorry if there's like any sound that kind of distraction. But Yongchip, I just unmute yourself and I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to highlight a point from the OG, like the impacts of the social media itself. They say that social media is designed to be make people addictive, and there's like also gain a cyberbullying and so on and so on. The addictive itself, ladies and gentlemen, addictive. It's on the people itself. It's based on the people who use it. There's no the social media stuff is not something to be designed to be like that, and or we cannot control how the systems, system, how the mechanism work in the social media. Uh, it's those kind of addictive and cyberbullying actions. It's on the social problems, not the social media problems. Now, I want to define. I want to move to my definitions and to my opening and argument. Now. So we live like in an era where technology, ladies and gentlemen, are advancing rapidly, and it's true that we cannot always control the algorithm, the mechanism behind this platform. But what we control is how we manage our mental health, how we react, how we set boundaries, how we choose to communicate to people, to engage with people with this one within these platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, social media itself is not inherently harmful. It impacts depend on how we use it, how the people use it. If we feel affected, the key lies not in blaming the tool itself, which is the social media that we are currently talking about, but in self-reflections and building healthier online habits. So this is why, ladies and gentlemen, as the oppositions, we believe that social media does not inherently cause more harm than good. It is for the user's mental health. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this debate, our team wants to focus on how social media can actually become the source of support for its users, rather than some kind of like risk or a threat or so on. We believe that the platform itself, like social media, should not always be blamed. Those systems you can be blamed for every mental health. Like it's not none of our business, because the system itself only becomes harmful depending on how people engage it. Like I mentioned before, instead of seeing social media as the root of the problem, as the cause of the problem, we should recognize its potential to help people to connect, to engage, to express themselves, and even find a mental health support. Now, moving to my arguments that will prove this. Like now, we see that there are so many users are being helped because of the because they've been given like a safe space, like some kind like story engagements or some kind like that. And those people who are lonely or cannot have a support systems in real life, they will find a community in online things like Discord maybe, or some kind like that, or maybe they can engage to a more barrier, like on a foreign country states, like finding friends on that country. And this will lessens the stress, lessens the lonely feelings they have, and the isolation feeling that can cause their mental health. So I'm gonna give like examples, like forum like Reddit, like depressions group on WhatsApp or Telegrams can support mental health, mental health, and like that. So the social media justru like not giving like decreasing the mental health for the vulnerable people like our self Gen Z of course, and the introverts or the minority but or the minority one. So my argument is number 2 is that the is that the major cause of the mental health stuff is how they use it. Like I mentioned before, those negative impacts come from misuse, come from the like that. So it's not so the media social is a neutral things. It's like uh things that can be something like that. So the true causes of the mental health is came from the external factor, like the society factors, like the school pressure or maybe family pressures or social expectations and so on, so on. So media social just trying to powers up, not like creating the problems itself. Now, my argument number 3 is that uh social media can be the one who can make an awareness and make a social mental health helper. So so this mental health helper came from like an educations, like in crisis hotlines or global campaigns and so on, that is spread all over around the media social itself. Like there's like a lot of Instagram, TikTok stuff that where Gen Z spread it out spread it out, like there are so much things and educate themselves in it. So the Gen Z itself will be the one who can make this, and also they are the one who raise the war in itself. So in conclusions, ladies and gentlemen, these motions claims that social media does more harm than good, to its users. But today, our team has shown the opposite. Social media can often bring more harm, bring more good than harm. It provides connections, it provides support, it provides awareness that many people maybe cannot find offline, right? If the debate is about which impact is stronger, then we firmly believe that the good of the social media for mental health outweighs the harms. So, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the leader of opposition. Moving into the opening government, Deputy Prime Minister Satria Adi Pamungkas, you're here.
All right, so my explanation is about to start from 3, 2, 1. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable judges, and all amazing participants today. Let me introduce myself. My full name is Satria Adi Pamungkas. You guys can call me Satria. I am the opening government and the second speaker. So, first of all, I would like to give my background. So, I'm actually a content creator with over 3+ years of experience, and I also do a campaign for reducing social media use in some schools. So for a legit answer, yeah, I'm actually having that kind of background with over as well 100,000 plus followers on Instagram and as well as on TikTok. So I would like to give my stance first. I strongly agree with the motion today that this House believes that social media does more harm than good to users' mental health. First of all, I would like to do a rebuttal first. So the previous speaker from the OO said that it really depends on the person. Okay, it really depends on the person. But in the reality is, we see that social media and as well as the mental health one has proven to become a pandemic worldwide. So this is actually a pandemic. It's not from the illness, but it's actually experienced by a lot of people. The majority feel that using social media too much for them is actually harming themselves. Okay, and as for your information as well, that the social media makers themselves they already generate and make the social media to make people stay longer on their platform. Okay, so the maker of social media knows that this is actually harm, but this is actually in need of industry, etc. So that's why we need people stay longer as long as possible, even though they know that this is actually dangerous for the people, even for their family. Okay, and then the previous argument from the OO said that making friends online. Oh, come on, guys, we live in this world for such a long time. And we are actually trapped in the online platform. We need more social, real life interaction. And this is proven by research better than making friends online. We are mentally full. We feel that we are energized more with when we meet real life people. We need more connection in this lonely world. Okay? And then the previous one said that we have mental health content out there, but the majority of the internet is actually filled with entertainment, not the mental health content one. That's going to be good if all of the content, the majority is mental health. It will boost our mentality. It will boost our mental health. But in this case, no. Okay? And then I would like to give my argument over here. First of all, I would like to give credit to my from my team as well. She said that we strongly agree that social media does more harm because of social comparison, declining self-esteem, addiction, dopamine dependency, cyberbullying, online harassment, and overload of information. And I would like to give even further explanation with that. Now, the first one is researchers have proven that that social media giving more harm than good. For example, most of people want to open social media usually for entertainment. When they want to look for entertainment, they actually want it to become happy. But the longer they play social media, the research has proven that the more lonely they are. Okay, and the more they are gonna be socially and emotionally not connected to the society. And not only that, it destroys the sleeping pattern because people tend to open social media even at the midnight, and it will also harm to our body, not only for mentally and also on our body itself. And the second one is I'm going to talk about the algorithm. We watch something that we want, so the algorithm will push every content that we want to watch. For example, when we are sad, we will tend to watch more sad content, which means we are even more sad. I would like to give another extreme example. Let's say a person wants to suicide, and they tend to see more sad videos, etc., etc., etc. And there is a possibility that he or she would suicide. And the third one is leading to brain rot. Brain rot in bahasa Indonesia is pembusukan otak ya. So they are not focused. They would like to watch more the abstract things rather than the videos that have context. And it will affect the mental health as well. And we see that last year, Australian government, even the developing country, limits their social media use for their children, for their teenager. So it shows that even the developed country knows the danger of this kind of social media use. And then fourth is the addiction, the dopamine. Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, accepted.
So
you were muted. Sorry, you're muted. Oh, maybe next time. I think you do it in purpose. So the addiction one is dopamine dependency. We cannot, when we are actually exposed with social media, we cannot look for other happy things except the cheap dopamine that we get from social media. So this addiction is actually severe. From the Chinese researcher, I've ever heard that from an article a couple of days ago or a month ago, that China says that, research from China says that if we watch even more than 3 hours, it's actually considered to be addicted to social media, okay? And the fifth one is comparing ourselves. It will decrease our self-esteem. We will not be happy and not productive. And I tried to do a calculation over here. If we keep watching social media for 3 hours every day, it will spend 7 hours for our life until we are 75 years old. No, thank you. And it will improve. It will make us into the unproductivity. 6. So I do agree that social media is good for economy, for information, but not good for mental health. with all of those arguments. Okay, so once again, I would like to give my stance as a content creator and as a practitioner that I do agree from the research that I've ever read back then. I do agree that this house believes that social media does more harm than good to users' mental health. I would like to give my personal experience. Actually, I'm actually addicted to social media for 5 years, 6 years from now, and I'm still not able to find help. Like I would open my phone like 5 to 6 hours, and which makes me feel so sad, which make me feel so unproductive, and I feel that I'm blaming myself. So this is why social media does actually more harm than good, even the maker themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, opening government. Moving into the second speaker of opening opposition, Deputy Leader of Opposition, Tiara Zahra, floor is yours.
Okay, regarding of my in divide issue, I prefer you to PO. In case of the POA, just unmute your microphone. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. The opposition is vehemently disagree with these motions about the social media. It does more harm than a good the mental health. As the our leader opposition has mentioned about that social media is a tool. Yeah, that's a tool for us. The one who the main of the character itself is ourselves. So who one will control it? It's ourselves. So it's related with us. If you are thinking that our sociology is bad, if we are doing social media for a long time, and the OG is mentions about the addicted, itself. It's like it will be not being a problem when you are control yourself to be have the positive impact. You can the one who will control yourself, the one who will control the social media is yourself. If you are consuming the positive you are consuming the positive content, so it means you will get the positive impact for yourself. And also from the OG, it mentions about the social media is referred for a lot of Instagram, TikTok, IG, and Twitter. It refers to who is steer our psychology is our brain. Yeah, the one who will control is our brain, is us. And the OG is also mentions about that your gratitude for social it's got impact of the gratitude of your life. Yeah, of the gratitude perfect of your life is
POI?
actually impact to us what?
Okay, so does it mean that you are neglecting the fact that this is actually a pandemic worldwide, that people are actually mentally down because of social media? That's actually
No.
the fact.
Just 15 seconds. Okay, if you are thinking about the social media impact of the pandemic, a lot of people it's consumed the social media is really higher in a pandemic. So if you are thinking that you are a gratitude for yourself and that get influence that you are get a bad impact or harmful that you get affected, it means that you are not control yourself to get a positive impact. You don't consume the positive content in social media. It means that you are consume the negative thinking and you are think that your psychology getting decreased because your psychology get it down of ourselves. And also in reality of the missions of your pandemic, it thinks it's just your illusion of just the conspirations. You know that a lot of the conspiration stuff is where is the proof? Where is the proof of that? It's not just a conspiration. Where is the proof that our life, social media, is getting improved the bad positions itself? And I support my leader of oppositions. It's about the psychology of our social media. It's because that we are control it. And if you want to get a deep down your decreasing of psychology, the control itself is you. You are the man of the character itself. And if you want to change of our why to get better, I will give the example. Try maybe you are mentions about the since the pandemic era. Okay, we are starting from the pandemic era. And look at now. Are they deep down in the still in the house? No, we got after the pandemic era. They are everyone get to the outside and they have to improve to be a better person instead. Before the pandemic era, we have a lot of social media. Maybe it's also familiar with the Gen Z that we want to have work-life balance. Work-life balance is instant from our life and from work-life balance that we can still do it in our home. But after that, after the pandemic era, we already have an impact of that you are social media, that you consume a lot of the social media. But if you are consume the social media in positive thing, after the pandemic, you go to outside the private and improve yourself. You will get a better job. You will get a better person. And in the social media for now on, that we have a lot of positive community. If you are thinking that you just only the people that extrovert say the extrovert just get impact, I will tell you I will tell you that the community is from the introvert itself is support each other. Even they are the stranger itself, they are still support each other. Even they are stranger, and they get a good impact because they are support each other. Even they know each other. It's proving. And also, uh, after that, changes of the our era in the digital era, we cannot stop the social media itself. So now on, we get so the one who get it is the one who control it is ourselves. It's implemented and related for our leader oppositions saying in the last page. And social media itself, it's just a tools. So if you are think that your psychology will get a kill of because of the impact of social media, so why you don't think that your psychology is to build our support system? We can get a positive content and will being get more our being support of the system. It's not will kill our psychology itself. We are not getting bad or getting down if you are still consuming the positive thing. So if you are get a harmful, it means that you are thinking that your psychology get an impact of that yourself. So let's clarify about all of the point. As a tool, a social media will not being as a primer of our life. The one who will control is ourselves, is how we use, how we control it to filter every single content that we are consume is the one who is ourselves. Okay, so from the quote is mentioned also, the purpose of life is to be happy. The purpose of life is to be happy. No one will want to be sad. So if you want to be happy, just consume the positive or the happy content. You can control it, right? Okay, and for and so social media is truly not the root of all the mental health problem. If there, why a lot of the 2 million people still open the social media for every day? Even if they are, you said if they are said, they still open the social media, right? So it means the root of the problem is not the social media. It's it's yourself of the control. Proud of my speech. Thank you.
Okay, that will be the last speaker from opening bench. Moving into the closing bench from closing government, member of government Salsabila Febrian. Here.
Testing. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Firstly, I'm sorry if my voice is a bit raspy and a bit unclear because I am having a coughing fit right now. Okay, so I will start my speech in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so like to the opening government, we believe that social media platforms, despite their beneficial existence, overwhelmingly contribute to the declining mental health and especially among younger people. Now, we would like to discuss and further elaborate the psychological toll it has on people, such as anxiety, depression, self-esteem issues, cyberbullying, and especially addiction. And it outweighs the positive aspects such as connectivity and self-expression for younger people that the opposition spoke of. Okay, now, the first speaker of the opposition say it's not social media that's the problem. It's just how we use it. Like if you get addicted, that's on you, not on the app. But honestly, personally, to me, that's kind of like saying fast food isn't unhealthy. People just eat too much of it. Okay, sure, we all have choices, but the truth is, these platforms are literally built to be addictive. Big tech companies hire psychologists and behavioral experts to make sure users stay hooked. They design everything, the likes, the scrolling, the notification, to trigger our brain's reward system. It's not It's not a neutral tool like a hammer. It's more like a slot machine that lives in our pocket. Blaming the users completely ignores how deeply manipulative the system of social media is. We can't expect people, especially teens, to just use it responsibly when the whole point of the app is to make that almost impossible. That's like putting a candy in front of a kid all day and being shocked when they overeat those candies. So no, it's not just about personal responsibility. It's about a system designed to hijack your attention, and that's where the harm really comes from. Now, again, social media platforms are deliberately designed to be addictive, creating habits that are hard to break and deeply harmful
Yeah.
to well-being for us. No, thank you. Those endless scrolls with notification and likes are a part of a psychological feedback loop. And users get small dopamine hits with each interaction they do in social media, which keeps them coming back and back and back again on social media platforms. This design promotes compulsive usage that leads to disrupted sleep, poor focus, increasing irritability, and dependency on virtual validation, which impacts mental health amongst people. For example, a 2019 study from the University of Pennsylvania showed that limiting social media use for 30 minutes per day significantly reduced depression and loneliness after 3 weeks. Or the case of Tristan Harris, a former Google designer, revealed that platform use persuasive technology to keep users hooked, like slot machines in your pocket. Not only those alone, but many teens and young adults report staying up until 3 to 4 a.m. on their phones, even when they have schools or work the next morning. This isn't laziness. It's the result of platform engineered to capture attention and hold it. Apps like TikTok even reward being used with personalized content, making breaks feel less satisfying than continuing. The point here is clear. This isn't just about quote unquote using social media a lot. It's about users being manipulated into overusing social media itself in a way that's hurting their attention spans, ruining sleep schedules, and making them more emotionally vulnerable. These are not small side effects. They're core parts of mental health, and they suffer people a lot. These apps are designed to mess with our brains. You're not just choosing to scroll for 4 hours straight. No, you're not. That's how this system is built. Every ping, every like, every video, every notification, everything basically is there to hook you and keep you stuck. And it works. People lose sleep into responsibilities and feel withdrawal when they try to cut back, yada, yada, yada. And our attention spans are short. People are tired all the time, and the constant chase for dopamine makes real life feel dull. That messes with your emotions, your motivation, and your brain chemistry, which affects your mental health itself. Now, social media social media fosters unrealistic comparisons, leading to self-esteem issues and anxiety. Now, social media represents a curated, filtered reality that creates unrealistic beauty and success standards for people. And for a vulnerable individual, this is bad. Constant exposure to these idealized lives, bodies, and achievements leads to users to compare themselves to other people. There was a study in 2023, America, by the American Psychological Association that found that teens who spent more than 3 hours a day on social media were 60% or 70% more likely to report symptoms of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. This proves that social media encourages harmful self-comparison, making users feel useless and they are affecting mental health negatively. And now, thirdly, social media also increases the exposure of cyberbullying and online harassment. Now, social media supports this concept of anonymity, and its anonymity and widespread reach of social media and widespread reach of public make it a breeding ground for bullying and harassment. Now, victims of cyberbullying experience isolation, depression, and suicidal ideation at higher rates, as according to UNICEF, over 30% of youth or young people globally have been victims of cyberbullying, and many report it as something more harmful than in-person bullying itself. And now these patterns contribute to mental exhaustion, anxiety, and long-term psychological harm for individuals in widespread globe. Now, to wrap this up, indeed, social media isn't all that bad, sure, but it does a lot more harm rather than good for individuals. That is why we believe social media is hurting way more than it is helping when it comes to our mental health. And that is all from the government. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the member of government. Now moving into the closing opposition, member of opposition, Nuriani Agustina, you're here.
Okay, I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this debate, we didn't found the urgency. We didn't found any kind legit arguments that comes from the opening government. The opening government stated about the addiction and cyberbullying is irrelevant to our debate today, ladies and gentlemen. Because why? Because social media does more good than harm to users' mental health at the very beginning, ladies and gentlemen. So I will clarify and define the addiction comes from, ladies and gentlemen. The addiction comes from the someone that use intensively in social media, and ladies and gentlemen. And in this debate, we talking about users with mental health, ladies and gentlemen. So in this case, if someone is addiction, it means they have overdose of dopamine, right, ladies and gentlemen? So this is the statement that irrelevant, irrelevant to the motion to that, ladies and gentlemen. And then the second response is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is very rarely happen towards the users with mental issues, ladies and gentlemen. Because of why? Because the community on the social media is supporting each other towards the users that have mental issues itself, ladies and gentlemen. So it's impossible they bully each other meanwhile they have mental issues at the very first beginning, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe that this is irrelevant to our debate today, ladies and gentlemen. And then the next is trap in they said about the trap in social media and doesn't have relation with a real society is very irrelevant, ladies and gentlemen. Because why? Because in reality, the society is very judgmental to their condition, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why they have to find alternate a world to become a real person, ladies and gentlemen. So in this case, in the social media is the best place, is the good way to them to express and to tell everyone they feel about, ladies and gentlemen. And then and the closing government said about the age category is the problem in here. Okay, the age of users of the social media, the kids cannot filter about the content in social media is very wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Because of why? Because social media has a mechanism that can filter age category, ladies and gentlemen. So and on TikTok, users of TikTok is required that upper 13 years old, ladies and gentlemen, and the YouTube, there is YouTube Kids, ladies and gentlemen. So in this case, the kids cannot afford the content that unrelated to them, ladies and gentlemen. And back to my argument, my argument at the first is social media is good. Because of why? Because it serves mental health content that can heal person that have mental issues itself, ladies and gentlemen, and they can share about their condition to other persons that has mental issues, ladies and gentlemen, and they can sharing information about how to heal their illness in the very first beginning, ladies and gentlemen. So they afraid about stigma if they have to face the reality, and then that's why the social media using is an alternative to the person that have mental issues itself, ladies and gentlemen. So we as opposition believe that social media is good for this kind of problem, ladies and gentlemen. And then how we can face the reality if the reality is very judgmental to them. In the social media, everyone is so kind to give support to each other in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe that social media is good at the very first beginning. And the second is social media become a bridge to other platforms that heal mental issues itself, ladies and gentlemen. For example, is Hello Doctor, ladies and gentlemen. In Hello Doc, is a psychologist online, ladies and gentlemen. So they can access that kind of platform that informed by other by social media users, ladies and gentlemen. So in this case, social media bring more good than harm. And then the Hello Doc become popular because mentioned frequently in social media, so they don't need to be worried, be judged by surrounding to see a doctor in reality, ladies and gentlemen. So because our society is very judgmental to see someone that has a mental issue, so this is social media become an alternative to our problem in this case, ladies and gentlemen. So in this case, the vulnerable actor is Gen Z with mental health issues, ladies and gentlemen. So we proudly oppose this motion. And then the third is social media have algorithms, ladies and gentlemen. In the social media, if we would like to search any kind of suicide word, for example, on TikTok, the TikTok doesn't suggest how you can commit to suicide. No, they give alternative and they suggest kind word to you to see a doctor, or maybe and then serve a good contents the relative to your mental health, and maybe they cannot serve you any kind of harmful contents for the mental health users, ladies and gentlemen. So we as the closing oppositions strongly believe the social media does more good than harm to users' mental health at the very first beginning, at the very first place. So at the end of the day, the vulnerable actor in this case is Gen Z as a social media users that has mental health issues is protected by our mechanism, ladies and gentlemen. For example, to access Halodoc platform itself, ladies and gentlemen. So I close my case. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the member of opposition. Now moving again into closing government Whip Melinda Putri Rusmadini. Here.
Check. Is my voice clear?
Very clear.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this motion is about the House believe that social media does more harm than good to users' mental health. First of all, I want to really say about for the closing opposition said that you say just now, we can help the people who are need something in social media, like the influencer who are sharing a good content, maybe like for mental health. But hello, it's not all the content creators create something like that. Not all the content creators create something like good. If all the content creators have a good intentions to share their content good for the intention for in a good way, then such as like in mental health or maybe self-help, something like that. So we do not need any psychology here, right? We do not need the teacher itself to teach us if all the content creators in a good way. But the reality is not all the content creators. So how we can expect that we people will always like to, it's more beneficial for the people if it's true, then but the reality is not. And also the second that we people just talk about like ladies and gentlemen, they from the opposite say that it just about depend on ourselves. Yes, it's true. How we use something is matters. But let me ask you again: if a system is built to make people addicted, happy, can we really say that it's all your fault? It is something like say it's your fault because you eat too much candy, even though the candy itself is made to be sweet, cheap, and everywhere. So how we can control that? Because the social media itself is not neutral at all. They use trick us for endless scroll and likes and comments, something like that. And then what happens? We feel like we're not good enough when we see the content. We always feel always behind if the content is not like what we want. Also, we need to like anxious itself. So that's really harm. That's a mental health damage. Even if like as adults, we struggle to stop using social media. But how we can expect for the youngers, even like children's, our neighbor or something like that, who are still growing to control themselves? So they can't. So this shows that the system is stronger than self-control. So we cannot just say it's your choice. If the system is built to control your choice, so it can. So now it's not just about how we use it, it's about how social media is designed to use us. And also I want to if you say that this is we just depend on ourselves how you use it, but you don't give a solutions how we can manage ourselves, how we can like control ourselves to not using social media. You don't give the solutions
Joy.
so we can. No, thank you. So like if the social media control ourselves, like because like we have known together, not users cannot fully control social media itself. So social media, because we scroll notification and something like that. So like our brain directly like notice, oh, I really want to open this option. So just, and also like we can always like choose it wisely, something like, but in reality, even adults like we cannot. Also, I want to strengthen from the government side about user compared to other people, so leads to the depressions, mental health itself. Yes, it is because social media harm to the mental health, especially for youngers, as we have known together. Because social media often shows unrealistic lives. This makes people compare themselves, feel not enough good, and get insecure. It is also increased cyberbullying, addiction, and anxiety. Because teenagers who are users in Instagram a lot more likely to feel depressed, and especially like they see perfect bodies and then they feel like, whoa, they are so good, they're so beautiful, something like that. But for me, I do not be like them, so I want to be like them. So even if there are some benefits, the daily damage to the mental health is real, personal, and it will be long lasting. So the government has proven this clearly. And also for the next is as we have known together that cyberbullying and teen suicide cases in around the world, such as we have known together like the influencer like KKI. She just want to sing a song in social media, but they get more bullying from the Indonesian citizens. How you are so fat, you are so good, so black, so short. So what's the point? Like she just want to share her, her voice, like her preference and something like that. But people in Indonesia, because of the social media, they just judge herself like that. So that's unfair. Like also we have known like the suicide case in Korea. Like we have known the last cases is about Kim Saeron. How the Korean people like use the social media to make that person is really to make themselves like I feel alone, and then directly like the Kim Saeron itself or other maybe like a Korean citizen decide to suicide because people are like the people in social media is more really dangerous than directly than our friends itself directly. So, and I think like the social media also will feel feeling not FOMO and feeling of like again like not enough. Even if a social media creators they say that hey, you can be someone good or success, blah 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 blah, and they show their success. But we are for the people who are seeing that content, we don't feel like we are relate. Something like for the Timothy, he always say about crypto. He always say about like this is how you can be rich, blah 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 blah. But not people will understand about what he's saying, which he just directly like say, and then you can be rich in X month and blah 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 to buy a crypto itself. But that's not necessarily like he give the solutions because that he said also will be more like if when he already been rich. No, I'm sorry. When he already been rich, he cannot help the poor people to to be rich. They just like mocking and yelling, "You are so like goblok, blah blah," something like that. That's not good for our head. So that's not will be impact directly in our mental health. So I think all of this. So the conclusion that we have shown that social media directly harms mental health and is difficult to control even for responsible users. And our side believes in protecting the health, not just defending freedom at any cost. So we have prevented the real world harms. That's why we probably stand by these motions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the government whip. Moving into the closing opposition to the last speaker of our final round. Opposition whip, Rizky Amalia Maulida, floor is yours. Here. I cannot hear your voice. Still cannot hear it. Maybe you should put the audio system on your cloth. Try it again. No, I cannot hear you. You just put the mic on your cloth, not near your mouth, I guess. Still not hearing your voice. Could you please use any device like laptops, like you talk just directly to your laptop, near your laptop, I mean. We cannot hear you. Oh yeah, can you please like using any phone or this is that.
Hello? Hello? Oh,
Yes, it's
We
clear
can hear you
now.
now.
Recording in progress.
okay. I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Before I start my speech, my POI preference just raise your hands or go to the chat box. Okay. I will start. Wait. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, judges. Today motion that we're talking about is this house believe that social media does more harm than good to users' mental health. Okay, before I go to how this debate is actually going on, I will extend my first speaker argument first. Okay, first, judges, we stand as CEO in this motion with a lot of consideration to talk about. First, there's a lot of good content in social media from a lot of content creators that spread about the awareness of mental health. Like a lot of doctors become a content creator and a content about how to maintain our mental health, what we should eat, like when we feel a bit down and etc. That's the very first positive point that we need to notice, judges, like how it will influence the mental health issues people, especially Gen Z, to feel a bit better because they feel that someone understands they're feeling well. And then second, there's the algorithm in many platform, right? Like on social media, where when we feel like we like a quote posting, then there's another quote that will be in our page, right? And like if we like some post, the similar post will appear again in our page. Usually when someone feel a bit down, they're going to do liking every post that relate to their feeling. And when they open the comment section, there's a lot of people that feel the exact feeling that they felt, and they tend to support each other there because they know how each other feel. They have been walking in each other's shoes, and by support each other like this, even though they are a stranger, it's still gonna bring a big emotional support to them because someone finally understand how they feel, how difficult everything for them all this time. And judges, imagine how big the impact is for those that actually doesn't get as much support about their mental health in real life, but got the support in the social media instead. And they might get a new friend there even by just supporting each other on commenter section. Because, however, even if they are stranger at first, they still understand each other feeling. They have been in the same shoes and stuff. And then Third, if social media really bring more harm, then why, when we search about suicide things in many platforms, the platform like TikTok, YouTube, and etc., they ask the searcher to seek for help and not showing the content that they ask for, like the suicide things. And then again, I want you guys to notice that the HaloDoc recommendation from a lot of people in social media. Like, it's not just from the content creator, there's also from this comment section that came from the people that also have been in that same platform. Like, there's really a lot of the recommendation to go to HaloDoc just because they're cheap. They also can maintain our mental health really well. And then
BOI?
no, thank you. And then we also no need to show up like to the place, like just online, so we don't get any bad judgmental from people that always say that if we go to a psychologist, then that means we're crazy and stuff. We're not gonna get all of those. And then this is like the benefit that came from the social media itself, because it is the bridge to go to that HaloDoc at the very first place. And then let's see how the debate is actually going on. Okay, OG said there's a lot of perfection on social media. Judges, if we look at how the algorithm work, then if the perfection is the one that always appear, then it means we like the perfection. And I don't see why it bring harm at the very first place. Like, okay, it means that the perfection is actually kind of relate to us. And actually in this case, they need to explain more, like why the perfection is being something that we need to concern about. And then they mentioned about addicted and validism. It's not what we're debating about. We're debating is the social media bring more harm, and they need to explain more about this too. And then they also bring the cyberbullying and harassment. The government needs to realize that the cyberbullying might come if we make a content, right? And the one that usually have some type of mental health problem really make a controversial content, because like for what? For the sake of what? And not in every content that we make is being a place for people to do cyberbullying. Why I say so? Because even if we afraid that when we upload something, then people might come to our comment section and do cyberbullying. No, social media has a system to off the comment section. Like if in Indonesia it says that komentar dinonaktifkan or komentar disembunyikan, all of that system is exists at the very first place. So social media can be the one that we blame on. Social media did prevent it at the very first place. And then they say that the social media makers make people stay longer and bring more harm. Well, when the users stay longer, it doesn't mean they're depressed all the time. They choose to stay, might because of how interesting it is, because how fun it is, and etc. etc. If they feel like it is abuse them, then they must hate it. They must hate the social media and refuse to open the app at the very first place. It is the common sense that I got. And then they also they say that they want to suicide it, then they're just gonna be more sad by social media. They need to prove more why this is right, because if we search suicide, like again, even the social media search will appear if we might need to seek for professional help, and there's not gonna be any content appear about how to do it, right? And then actually doesn't bring any solution like HaloDoc, like they bring a lot of problem, they give clear explanation, but I noticed there's no solution. So in this case, I can say that our bench is better. And also says that this is actually about self-control and we need to consume the positive content more. But in our side, even if the less positive or negative content is appear, we still have a lot of people that support us on the comment section, and that also have been in our shoes, that also know how we feel and even recommend each other what to do to actually being happier, like the HaloDoc and stuff. Even if it appears when we search suicide in many platforms, the one that appears is that notification that we need to seek for professional help. And then going on to CG said about the kid is being burned here. But however, the social media is not a problem in here, because like TikTok platform, it can only be accessed by someone that's up from 30 years. And like YouTube, there's a YouTube Kids that also exists. So the social media itself already prevent all of that, right? So we can't just say that the social media is the problem. And also, CG said about good content not we get by all of content creator. Well, it's because there's a lot of content creators, right? And just because not all content creators talk about mental health doesn't mean the whole social media is bad, right? It's a bad platform. You need to prove it bad at the very first place. And then third, last, they bring about KK. Well, you guys failed to notice that KK is not the right person to say as a mental health issues person, because she said that she wants to be a comedian at the very first place and entertain her viewers. And the song that she sang is to entertain her viewers and not get mocked because of the bullying things. Okay, that's it that I bring today. Proud to be CEO.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for the opposition whip as the last speaker for this final round. Congratulations, everyone, for completing the final round. Woo! All right, I would like to give the floor to our chair, Arif. You're here.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
First of all, we would love to say thank you very much for all of the participants. It has been a pleasure serving as the judges here. And I also would love to thank the Postgraduate School of Universitas Terbuka for hosting this event annually again this year. We cannot tell how much we felt how it's really a good place and occasion for every single one of you to debate, to tell your voices, to speak up, to tell that the young generation, especially Universitas Terbuka students, are also have the room, the space, the time for you to speak up. So this is something that we have to commemorate. And also this competition, even though it's a competition, it's also served as an important platform for every single one of you to make friends, to be an acquaintance with everybody else. So with regards of that, there's not much that I can say, and I'm pretty sure that everybody is tired. But once again, congratulations. And as for the final result, we will announce it on the final, sorry, not final, on this Natalis Universitas Terbuka 2025 on September 4th. And with that being said, we can end the session today. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you for all of the LOs for your important and also very crucial help and support throughout the debate. And for all of the teams, once again, congratulations. You deserve to be in final. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sana, Kesa, maybe we should take a picture to commemorate the event.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will take it. Okay, one. Okay, get ready, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait a second. Okay, get love.
Mungkin
1,
dengan
2.
salam UT.
Oh,
Gini ya. Kembali mungkin ya. I don't know.
yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you once again. You may leave the room chamber, sorry, the Zoom chamber, and once again, hopefully we can see you again in another occasion. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.